Hi, this is Lindsay Schoolcraft of Cradle of Filth, and you're watching Impact Channel.
Death darkened soul, right wing of the garden triptych, left marks the
Well, we've all had this discussion within the band of what our favorite song is, and it's like children. You can't pick a favorite because we love all our songs equally. But my personal favorite, I think, is King of the Woods. I absolutely adore that song. And we're only playing 4 of the songs off of Hammer the Witches right now. And I guess my favorite out of those to play live that I enjoy the most would be, I don't even know, I can't pick. Probably Blackest Magic in Practice. I really connect to that song. I love the story. We just did a music video for it, so I'm more excited for it now. So many. I think Saffron's Curse from Midian is like the ultimate one I want to play live. So. Like, I'm more alive than I've ever been. Doesn't matter if I'm sick, because I had a really bad cold the second week of this tour. It doesn't matter if I'm sick or if I have a fever or if I'm tired that day or if I'm sore and in pain. It's just you transcend to a whole nother level mentally, and it's the best feeling in the world. I don't want to be doing anything else with my life. When I'm up there on stage, I forget everything and just focus on our music and the performance and what's going on around us, and it's pretty fantastic. Glass of wine to loosen myself up, because I'm very critical and hard on myself, so sometimes I just need to forget about it. I will have a glass of red wine. We all wish each other a good show. I'm strange, I'm not your typical goth. I practice a lot of gratitude. So I always remind myself, I'm really lucky that I got to do this, and Cradle found me, and I'm just so blessed, and I go out there and kind of get in the mind space to give it my all, because I don't want to disappoint. It's about the fans. It's at the end of the day, it's not really about us. Yes and no. Guys tend to be a little more stinky, and that's okay. You just get used to the smell. It's kind of like if you're a fisherman, you just get used to the fish. But anyways, I shouldn't be saying that because the whole veganism thing was just a comparison. But anyways, yeah, it's not that hard. I mean, I'm like the little sister of the band, and they look out for me, and I prefer the company of men over women. And it's not difficult being a woman at all. I enjoy it. I mean, I find it kind of liberating. A lot of women I look up to are the only women in their heavy metal bands or their musical projects, and I just feel like I fit in. It doesn't really make any difference to me. Yeah, the guys will tease me and make fun of me and say like really ridiculous things, and it rolls off my back, because I kind of have the sense of humor like a guy too. I don't know, I can't explain it, but yeah, it doesn't really make a difference to me. This is gonna like sound really weird, but my mom, like if you think about musically, yeah, okay, Amy Lee and Bjork, but my mom is like the toughest woman I know. She raised me for one, so like mad props to her for that. But she's had 6 different careers her entire life. She's licensed to do so many things. Like she can do accounting and sell life insurance and sell houses. She's just like, she's super driven and talented, and she's stronger than she thinks. And I love my mom. She's crazy, but she's like my best friend. Yeah, actually, well, I mean, if I could, I'd have my album done by now, but that's just a work in progress. I'm working on a single to release this winter, and the people I've hired, who I can't say who they are yet, they're working on it as I'm on the road. I'm pretty much done everything on my end. I just have to get my butt into the studio and actually finish everything. But I mean, I'm always working on stuff. and there's so much I want to do with my solo project. I have like 25 songs right now just archived, and I'm itching to get them out there, but it's a long process because Cradle of Filth has been taking priority, but any free moment I have, I do focus on Schoolcraft. Probably the Native American pan flute. I think that would be like my next endeavor once I'm happy with my harp playing skills, but I think playing harp is going to take me another couple, maybe a decade to really feel good about playing the harp. But I still want to improve on my piano skills. So yeah, I mean, I love so many different instruments. I love dulcimers and harpsichords and a lot of the eclectic string instruments. There's even a lot of oriental like instruments like the koto. Like, I've just loved to pick up and learn how to play, but you know, I'm not a vampire. I'm not going to live 400 years, so I kind of have to pick and choose where I put my time. But who knows? I mean, I'll be playing music till I'm 70 and 80, so maybe then I can add another 20 instruments onto my repertoire. Oh, I probably put the cellos and the violins like amplified and distorted in their place. That's probably what I do. I mean, there's a lot now as I'm growing as a musician, and I want to further my classical studies eventually, because now that I've kind of gotten to the flow with Cradle after the first album, I think writing classical compositions and some stuff for metal is something I'm interested in doing. I mean, it's coming naturally. I love what I do for Cradle of Filth, but just on the side, I think I'll probably be collecting my own little ideas and writings just for the hell of it. Oh, wow. Yeah, I do. I mean, I've been offered to do some stuff on the side, but it hasn't come to fruition yet just because I've been so busy. I'd love to do a fantasy soundtrack with all the harp and the strings and the weird eclectic folk instruments. Anything. I mean, it's something I'd love to do one day. And if I had the chance, probably a Disney film too. Why not? I would love to do a Disney film. You know, and I've even talked to my friend Justine Estier from Black Art, and we said, you know, down the road, me and her could just do our own little animated film with our own music down the road. I mean, like, now everyone's going to be banking on this, but trust me, people, there's not enough time at the end of the day, but it's something I know me and her would love to do. Oh, I'm so excited for it. That's all we've been talking about on this tour. The last European tour we did, we watched like all 6 movies in 2 weeks. And yeah, I'm so excited. I really hope it's not like a flop. That's like the scary thing. Oh, and I'm really excited for the new Alice in Wonderland. Like, that's like, so stoked for that. A lot of the ones I want to work with, I'm already on the way to working with them. Because I kind of just have a small list, but I really would love to just write a song with Amy Lee one day. I really would love to see what would happen. What would I like to hear on a Schoolcraft tribute album? Probably Dimmu Borgir try to cover me. I don't think Shagrath would be down for that. I mean, I don't know the guy, but I can't see him covering like Masquerade or Into the Night. I think that would be hilarious. Yeah, definitely. I feel like I have a clearer head. I feel healthier. I've got more energy in the morning. I just feel better knowing that through consumption, I'm not giving into any cruelty and contributing to it. And it's just a really peaceful way of living. I don't do it to make myself seem like you know, I'm better than anyone, or like to look down upon people. It's just through my own research that I came to it. On a spiritual level, though, I mean, with being First Nation Native American, I come from the tribe that started totems, and it's spirit, like animals as spirit guide. And it's like, why would I be eating these animals dishonorably? I mean, I couldn't even kill an animal, so why should I be paying someone else to slaughter it for my consumption? It just doesn't make sense. So essentially that's kind of my connection to it. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Every day. I mean, it's not something that you really need the tribe to go forward with the Sundance or the Sweat Lodge or anything. It's more of which I mean I still have to do, but it's more of a mindset and kind of how you feel connected to everyone and how you treat everyone and you treat nature and you go through life. You know, I'm very much on the side, from what my native elder tells me, I'm very much on the side of a teacher and a healer and a visionary. So it's just kind of, it's just part of who you are. It's once you identify it, it's just strengthening it. That's all. Yeah, definitely. It inspires me. I mean, the more I create, the closer to nature I get, the more I want to take from it. And I kind of see how Bjork does it. And I never want to copy her. I just kind of see how she does things. And then I just think of things in a different way. So, yeah, it's happening. I've been designing a lot of headdresses and costumes for Schoolcraft while I've been on the road. Just scribbles in my notebook. So. Yeah, eventually. My mom is just driven insane because I've got like a whole cupboard in my bedroom at home, and it's just like you open it up and all these antlers and feathers fall out, all these headdresses. And she's like, what are you going to do with these? I'm like, well, I don't think I'm ever going to wear them again. So I think down the road, I'll probably sell them off in fan funding to help the next album, because some of them are really well made and they're beautiful. But I've actually passed along my head dressmaking to Hysteria Machine. She's out of the UK, and we got in touch. She's a fan. Hi, Danny. And and we were just on the same level of what we want to make for headdresses and accessories, and we share a creative mind like that. So she's taken over the duties for me, and it's nice because now things have gotten so crazy the past while. It's nice that I don't have to stress about, oh God, I gotta collect craft supplies, and then I gotta glue it all together and jab myself with wires and burn myself with the glue gun. She can do that. That's her life. We'll let somebody who's their life, and I'll just focus on the music. Yeah, one endeavor that I want to kind of delve into is I'm very interested in the Celts, the Druids, German traditional paganism, old paganism, Wicca, the Norse mythology, the Mayans. I think that there's a lot of connection between any pagan-based spirituality. There's always the sacred four directions, there's the elements, there's the times of years, like the seasons, and I think when it comes down to it, they're all very connected. There's just different ways of describing it. The biggest thing for me is that I don't know, it always is the first thing that comes to mind is they say like what you take today you're taking from your grandchildren, and when it comes to veganism, it ties into that, because if you look at the damage we're doing to the planet, we're just being selfish and we're taking away from our future generations. And I don't think it's fair that, you know, if you want children and you want the generations to go on and flourish, you have to think about raising them the best you can, but you also have to think about your actions and how they're going to affect their children, your grandchildren, the generations after that. And that's something that the natives have always said, and I think that's something that people really need to consider. That's the biggest lesson anyways, but I mean, there's so many different lessons you can carry throughout life. Just depends on which ones resonate with you and your type of lifestyle. I'm more artsy, so I go more in the creative direction. Yeah, I like learning to live in the moment, and I don't know, just trusting your creativity and knowing how important and special it is, because there's a lot of people out there who oppose it and say creativity is important, and they look at arts as a monetary gain, and it's wrong. I think you should just freely be creative without any restraints around it, people telling you what your creativity should be used for. So it's everything. It's life. It's been a part of me since I was a little girl, whether I was dancing or drawing or anything. I mean, I can't. We're humans and we are capable of art. And that's, I think, the most divine gift, no matter what you believe. It's so important, and I don't know, it's everything to me. It's just like music is everything, but I think all the arts need to coexist with one another. You can't have musicals without music, and acting and dancing. You can't have a ballerina without the dress design and her music and the dance. Like, we all are interconnected in the arts, whether we want to think about it or not, or think like two things are the complete opposite ends of one another. We all need one another to flourish, and I think that massive connection in art, where would we be without it? Yep, absolutely. There's been so much art and so much music that's saved me from the brink of just absolute insanity, and got me through the toughest of times. And I see how even in the band we go through our own personal things, and because we have one another and we have our music, it's helped us. I think this album happened at the perfect time, because like everybody has their own thing. We're all going through something, and there's no really comparing it, whether it's big or small. You can't really compare those things to one another, but this album has helped us grow together, but has helped us personally on so many levels, and it's definitely there. It's just everyone experiences it in a different way, but it does heal and it does make a difference. Both in its own ways. I mean, I listen to music in times of need, but I also create. It's part of your purpose. We all are in this world, and we all have a purpose. We create our purpose, and we have something to prove, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I mean, without creating, I don't think I'd feel alive. When I don't have the time to create, I get grumpy. Everybody knows that. And it was a hard year for me. I had a lot going on in my personal life, and I didn't have a lot of time for the arts because I had to be there for my family, and I just felt drained. And these past few weeks, I'm coming alive again, and it's like learning how to connect and create and feel all over again. It's a really scary experience. Really cool experience, though. So, yeah, I mean, without it, God, I can't imagine my life without art, music, and creation. I think I don't know where I'd be, to be fair. I don't want to think about it. Well, I try to do that on tour. I try to go find a forest or sightsee for the day. But when I'm home, I'm from a hometown my hometown is called Oshawa, and it's in Canada. And there's Parkwood Estates there, which is where they filmed the school for X-Men, the film. It's a beautiful garden. It's like my little secret garden, and I'll just go in there, and I'll kind of retreat for a few hours at a time, and bring my lyric book and just my music and my phone, and turn off my phone, put it on an airplane mode, and just kind of forget the world for a bit, and just really think about a lot. A lot. So, and then there occasionally I'll take a trip up north, because Canada is very beautiful. We have vast forests and a lot of wildlife, so I definitely do try to find the time for that when I can. Well, I believe in spirits, and I've seen a lot of ghosts, and I believe that there's something beyond just what we see. Lately, I'll wake up in the morning, and same thing before I go to bed at night, and I'll just be like, before I go to bed at night, I'm like, what are 3 awesome things that happened today? And I'll think about that and be like, yeah, that's good. And then I'll wake up in the morning and be like, I woke up, I'm breathing, I'm not in pain today. I'm on the bus, I'm in Hungary. Like, that was this morning. I was like, yeah, like, that's kind of how I do things, because if you forget to do those things, you just forget to appreciate and be grateful for what you have. Touring is very hard. A lot of things can happen. It can be stressful. People can yell. Shit can break. Things can go really wrong. But you have to remind yourself, like, why you're here and why you're doing it. And I'm very lucky. I mean, I have my dream job. I stretch out every day because my body suffers. I've been performing harder than I've ever performed in my entire life. So I don't know how people in Cirque du Soleil do it. I don't. But I mean, there are certain ways. I do believe that my ancestors do send me messages in their own ways, and I don't want to get too into it, but sometimes they'll send a symbol, or they will send me a message through numbers, and I'll get it, and I'll be like, yeah, thanks guys. I know you're looking out for me. The moon. I'm very lunar, very feminine, but it's kind of like I'm like the brightness and the dark. That's probably the way the guys would describe me. I'm like a gothic Care Bear. I have the moon. I have like a gothic moon on my belly. If I was a Care Bear. I love the moon because it represents Lilith, who really shouldn't have been punished for anything. She was just trying to find equality amongst men. I mean, God forbid. Yeah, I mean, that probably the moon. I've always been drawn to the moon, and yeah, I think that would be it. I mean, the moon is in my symbol on the new album, so that's kind of why I put her in there. A historical person or a mythical creature. That's tough. Oh my god, there's so many, and I'm just going through pages in my mind. Historical person, probably Freddie Mercury. I mean, I think we'd be bros. I think we'd be pretty close. I'd love to just pick his brain and take him out for coffee or tea or whatever the hell he wants. Mythical creature, probably a griffin, because it's like the best of both worlds. It's like I'm like this lion eagle thing, and I don't know if we'd speak the same language, but I'd just be fascinated to see one. So I want to be a bird for a day. I just want to like fly. I just want to see what it's like to fly. That's it. Just like I like who I am. I'm going to come back to who I am because I'm happy with what's going on. But I would love to see the world through a bird's eyes and see like flying over mountains and oceans and seas and just seeing all of that and not being scared. I don't know if they actually are scared when they're flying. I don't know. It'd be something I'd love to experience. I do. I have a cat. His name's Max. He's 18. He's Siamese Burmese cross, and he's a bitter old man. And he's my best friend. I love him. 18. Yeah, 18. He looks like he's only 10. He's a hybrid, so we're hoping to get a few more years out of him. But he's such a sweet little creature. He's been there since I started my musician journey. Yeah, actually, well, I haven't gotten that far into her stuff, but Jane Johnson Schoolcraft, my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandma, she was the first published Native American. I've read some of her poetry. It's quite beautiful, and it's kind of scary when you look at the similarity in how I write my lyrics versus how she wrote her poetry. It's pretty scary. Ooh, okay. Fallen by Evanescence. Violet by the Birthday Massacre, Vespertine by Bjork, The Silent Forest by Within Temptation, and Dark Passion Play by Nightwish. That's probably it. I want to squeeze Demo Borger in there. Sorry, Shaggy, you didn't make it to the top 5. Because I can't actually pick a Demo album. I'd like so much from Demo, I just could not pick an album. Okay. Anything else? That's a big question. Hi, Big M. I think the meaning of life, oh, here we go, Danny and Big M are just going to come in on this. I'm sure their meaning is different. Well, this is the thing. The meaning of life is different to everyone. And I think it's finding your own meaning, finding what you're good at and what you do that brings you fulfillment and joy, but also gives back to society. It's like that energy flow. You give what you give. You know, what you have can be used to give. That's sort of how I view it. I mean, that's it, but it's different everyone. For me, the meaning of life is just art. But again, if not for an accountant, for an accountant, the meaning of life is getting those numbers in line. I love my fans, and they're awesome, and they're the reason I do what I do, and I just appreciate them so much, and seeing them every night from the stage, and seeing all their support, everything they do for me. They're everything to me, and I listen to them. I'm not going to be far, far away when they need me. I'm there for them, and when they have something to say, I do listen. I can't always fulfill everyone's needs, but I do my best, so. Oh yeah, thank you.